Hello, I hadn't seen you come in. Set 7898. That was the start of my LEGO journey, the cargo train set. It was, back then I was a little, how you say, careless with my LEGO. I kept dropping it and then trying to rebuild it from, my knowledge of how I built the thing at first. But the last time that I built a LEGO train was actually set 78971, which was the mock, and I mean mock M-O-C-K, not M-O-C-I-C-E train. Now both of those sets came out in 2006, and they were the last proper motorized LEGO trains I ever built. But my brother wanted to do more LEGOs, but he wanted to build like an actual village the same way that we would build a model railway. So naturally, I'd had to give him, a wee shove into the right direction. So what did I buy? Come on! Oh, that was my microphone. Right, so after that wee tumble, let's just get down to business. Whereas the first green LEGO train that I built was seemingly based off a crocodile, the Mountain Electrics. This set seems to be going for a locomotive which is either one of those big, was it GE or Baldwin Electrics that ran in America, though, the ones that also had like wee chimneys for the steam heating. But it could also be, on second thought, it could also be an NS 12,000, 1200, excuse me. But the roof furniture doesn't quite match up, but this is a LEGO train, and LEGO trains really absolutely match up. Now, I didn't get this because it was an actual LEGO product, although I would like to say that, I don't really care whether it's, genuine LEGO, or it's like Blue Bricks, or like, what's the other one? Brick Central or something? Bricksworks? I don't know. It's the one that go for silly money. But this one was heavily discounted on Amazon. I believe it was 110 euros, which for a LEGO set of quite some overall total pieces is quite cheap, all things considered. So let's get this bad baby open and let's see what's inside. That's the bag. Oh, the instructions come in their own wee envelope. That's new. That Ninjago boat that I showed you just then, they just came, as a booklet loose inside the package. This is all new. I've not built a LEGO train since 2006. Alright, so this is what we're going for. Quite nice logo, but I will say I recognise this logo. I do believe this is the LEGO City logo for their package service. Because I remember that there's planes and I believe a few lorries as well that have this stamped on it as well. So let's see. It's funny because my brother bought a tram from LEGO, and their bags were they weren't plastic bags, they were paper envelopes. There she is. That's that logo again. Bags 6 and 7 complete the locomotive. Alright, so... Oh, wait, no, this is important. I think this is the central unit which converts the battery... Yeah, it's the battery housing, that's it. Alright, so I have to get my screwdrivers out as well. What's this then? Another loose box. Is these all the axles? Are these all the axles? Ah, no. This is another power component. Ah, this is the power bogie. Okay, look. It's wrapped inside this wee box. Fingerprint magnet over here, but alright. Ah, right. So then this slots into here. Alright, okay. Let's put these off to the side. Well, look, this is the Wii remote. Now, the Lego train remotes, they used to be like big, humongous things, like, not unlike a controller you would find in like one of them early 2000s plug-and-play video game systems. But this is actually... Oh, it's click... Oh, very tactile. This is not me like you know, being surprised that Lego makes like good stuff, right? I'm just generally... I've not seen stuff like this before. You could place your wee man up here, you could pretend he's actually driving. Alright, that's cute. Let's put this there again. Okay, now, this is not going to be like a proper, like, just me, like, building all the things in front of the camera that would eat gigabytes out of my total storage. But, what I do like is, I want to, like, sort of, like, review as I'm going along. So the camera won't be rolling all the time, but ooh, okay, hang on, this seems important. So I suppose I have to do that beforehand then, because I think these are the actual steps. Oh no, wait, hang on. This is all for like sinking this stuff. Alright, okay. That's the track plan. This is the crossing. That's well and good, I believe that. Okay. So it starts with back 5 and then you end up with stuff like this. Alright. Let's give that a go then. Yeah. See you in a bit. I glue my Legos. I've done so for quite a long time because, well, first of all, if it drops then it's not completely buggered. And, well, then the likelihood of, you know, you accidentally or otherwise using parts from one Lego set into, you know, a free build and then not knowing how to put the one Lego set back together is lessened. There he goes. First member of the Orange Army. I did buy something else, hang on. I brought this from the Amazon sale as well. Like a food truck, like a burger van. And I did that because, well, you know, as someone who is in an Orange Army, just not the Orange Army for the railways, I know for a fact that Orange Army men, they love themselves some greasy goodness. You know, something I always wonder is, I know the meme is always like, you know, ooh, Lego stickers, you know, ooh, they're so difficult, but, like, you know, if you're not confident to do it by hand, you can always use some tweezers, right? Like, I don't quite understand why people always moan about the stickers. Like, I mean, I just kind of did this. It's not, like, too bad, I'd say. Like, I understand that, like, some people can get a bit jittery, but, you know, and I get for kids that it's absolutely terrifying. But, you know, for, like, the people that I know that are, like, into Legos are also, like, railway modelers, and, well, I mean, I don't really understand how, you know, the same people that can apply transfers like nobody's business can then be all jumpy when it comes to stickers. I don't quite understand myself, but, you know. There. Not too difficult. Okay, here's something I don't understand, right? So, those, like, Lego City rail icons I had to do with stickers, but then, how can this just be tampo printed on the piece? Like, I don't see how that couldn't be tampo printed as well. I am kind of left puzzled as to why this is then not a sticker, or why this is then not tampo printed. Curious. Now, if you'll excuse the church bells in the background, here's something I actually hate, right? Here, you get to do the noses of the locomotive, right? But the way they do it is they, you know, they give you the instructions one by one, one by one, and only after having all done the first one, you know, after just giving it a cursory glance, then they tell you, oh yeah, you have to do it twice. I get so annoyed with that. I genuinely get mad at that, because it's just so stupid. Why? Like, okay, I get it. Maybe you could make the argument that, oh well, but in, you know, in one of the diagrams, they tell you, oh yeah, but you're going to be making 2 now. Alright? That's grand, but like, they could have detail differences, and I wouldn't know, right? Because that Ninjago boat does the same thing. The Ninjago boat, by the way, also had an error where it didn't have a bag 11 labelled on the bag in the instructions, so it went from bag 10 to bag 12 and to bag 12 again. So that caused me to open the wrong bag once. So hey ho. Okay, right. So I've finished bag 6. So what I have right now is the power bogie has been inserted. You know, the cabs are mostly done. I forgot how large Lego trains are. I said I was not going to do O gauge at this stage yet, but this is virtually the same size. Right, so now what we have to do is the power battery brick thing. You know, these. And it's going to take AAA batteries. Excuse me, they take... well, how can I pronounce this funnily? I always make jokes like this. I steal this format from Dankpots for a reason. Varta. I usually... Oh, hang on. I think it's one of them cases where the casing holds the screws up. Alright. Yeah, it is. Alright. Is this one of them double... But yes, it is. Okay. It takes 6 AAAs, whereas it takes only 1 AAA for an average consumer. Haha, that's a gaming joke, which I'm sure my general audience of either people in their 20s or in their 60s understand. Okay, so this is quite nice. I did the grills, right? But if I like show it to you right now, it fits. It's a friction. It's not even a friction fit. It literally just slides out, and that's why you have these. I don't know what you'd call them. Ridges, so that you can just like literally just. Okay, so you have the cable is wound through the chassis, then you wind it round, and you slide the battery motor box thing. You slide it through there. So this is technically loose, which is of course handy for when you're refitting the batteries. That was not the case on the other one that I had. The other ones I had, you actually you had to take the bottom out. Like the battery box was concealed, I believe, where the fuel tanks and the electrical gubbins would be. So that's new to me. I'm quite surprised by that. So here's the loco. Again, very either EMD or, you know, Baldwin. That's the word I'm looking for. And still now the only thing we have to keep in this section on, you know, where the motor block thing is, are these two. So if I wanted to remove the whole thing, like I hadn't glued those two down either, so I can just do this, and the whole thing lifts out. Now, this is actually quite a clever piece of construction, which again my old Lego trains from 2006 didn't have. This is supposed to be a button. Look, that then presses down on where you have to sync the units. So I put this back together. It says here that I have to press them simultaneously, so it goes, and then a light should go on both of them. So it's 1, 2. Okay. So now that means that I can do this. Oh, okay. So it works. That's good. What Why is there a second one? Is that just for when you're working with two units? Because this one controls this unit, right? Jesus, stop. But then this thing doesn't do anything, so I think this is for when you have another train. But then I'm wondering, what does this do? It doesn't say. I could do it via Bluetooth, but no, absolutely not. Okay then. That's then the completion of the Lego train, or at least the locomotive. This is where you come in, the viewer. What third party sells some very good Lego rolling stock? Now, I've heard good and bad things about Blue Bricks. I've heard that, their instructions are a bit bare, and they are not immune to missing parts. But then again, that Lego Ninjago boat I had missed, I had a misprint in the instructions, and the tram that we built was missing a sticker sheet. So, we've all been there with Lego. Could one even review a Lego set the same way one reviews a model train set, even if said Lego set happens to be a train? Either way, here's the full contents of the set. Alright, let's get the negatives out of the way first. The motor bogie on the unit is absolute tripe, as the locomotive visibly slows down quite dramatically once it hits a curve. Now mind you, Lego only has one set curve radius, flexible track notwithstanding. The other thing is that this set seems kind of confused. To demonstrate, let's look at a few other Lego freight train sets. Set 60336 comes with a, quite hideous if I may say so, locomotive, a dual-decked car flat, an open wagon, a con flat, 2 EVs and a reach stacker, as well as a charging point for the EVs. Set 60052 came with a rather nice representation of an SD40, 2 conflags, a cattle wagon, a forklift, a van and a gantry crane. And set 7939 came with another great locomotive, a conflat, a car flat, a tanker, an articulated lorry, and a gantry crane again. Notice how the cranes on these, or at least the method of loading and unloading, is not another piece of rolling stock. Apart from the charging station for the EVs from set 60336, the signal tower on this set, 60198, is also the least impressive structure offered among these somewhat recent train sets, leaving set 60198 just a bit underwhelming in hindsight. If the locomotive plays into an established package delivery service within the Lego canon, why does only one item of rolling stock reflect that? The crane and flat car for the transportation of tree trunks makes the set feel more like it is intended to be a breakdown crane, which in fairness, Lego has never produced before. But that is all I have to whine about. I like all the items in this set you can build in a vacuum, which is why I went for this set over 60336. I'll reiterate, the loco in that set looks just all the wrong kinds of ugly. One of my favourite aspects of this set, 60198, is actually the signal tower. Sure, it is more meant as an element for play, but angle it away from you and that big red knob is barely visible and not too distracting. You just have to build a back wall to the structure. I also really like the crane, which was the most complicated element of the whole package, though nothing impossible. At the end of the day, if you buy into a Lego train set, you don't just buy into the train you're actually going to build. Instead, you buy into an ecosystem, even more so than with model railways. An ecosystem which supports feudal ninja ships, other vehicles, dungeons and dragons, and even in-scale detailed buildings. It just has to grip you the right way. As for me, I'm enjoying this return to Lego. One like equals one prayer for my poor, battered wallet.